Hope you all are ready tonight for the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway right here at Casa de la Horseboat. Want to give a big shout out to the Cal Goes Moo 1, Akam on Traeger 1, and K. Davis 67 Gears for the latest follows. Get ready, 250 laps, second to last race of the Gears Cup season coming up next. Folks, we are just mere minutes away from qualifying for the Gears Cup Series. We are only playing bangers up in here. Bristol night race. Right here. Bass Pro Shops night race. 250 laps. Round of 4. Race 2 of 3. Race 32 of 33. Again, second to last race of the season. Again, I am the Horseboat, a.k.a. Tom Torrey, bringing you all the action here tonight as we head in on this fine evening. Again, hopefully you're having a good Friday night and enjoying yourself as we get set and ready to go. As I mentioned, this is the second to last race of the season. As I picked up what I dropped. Again, tonight is October 25th. Again, 250 laps here, night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And then next week, November 1st, special guest Brayton Laster joins me in the booth for the second consecutive year to commentate on Gears Presents the Finale 2024 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for 134 laps. I am super excited to have Brayton. We've been talking a little bit. We've working on some things, so hopefully you'll be here for that. I'm excited to talk some shit with Brayton. I miss him. It's been a long time. As far as points goes, your boy didn't make a slide tonight. Kind of was lacking, as it were. But what you need to know, Van Drugman has a 59-point lead over Brad Gutierrez. Brad has to win and do stuff drastically here tonight, and Van Drugman has to have the worst run of his life. Again, tonight is a chance for Van to clinch and say goodnight to the 2024 Gears Cup Series Championship. Again, just moments away from qualifying. Van Drugman is the fastest in practice, but tied for first with him at this current time is Nathan Fuller. Brad Gutierrez, Skylar Comstock, Connor Rowe, Joey Berge, Matthew Weeks, Keaton Salyers, Chase Krall, and Brandon Meyer, your top 10. Again, we only have about 17, 18 here tonight. But that is all right by us. Again, as we mentioned at the top of the show, 250 laps. And it's going to get real fast. Again, as we've gone through this season, a little bit of controversy. We've had a lot of fun, have had a lot of laughs. But appreciate everybody who comes and checks out these streams, whether they watch it live or on the playback. We do appreciate that. And supporting this channel and supporting the Gears Racing League. Again, no sponsorship tonight on the line. No money or anything or crazy things like that. And I'll do the race breakdown as we get near the end of qualifying. But the Holiday Series, I'm excited to announce that. That'll be coming out next week. I'll have the schedule for you. Now, I don't know if I'll be broadcasting. I might do a couple of them, as it were. But I'm definitely going to be taking a little bit of a hiatus for Friday nights once this series concludes. Again, also, just want to put it in your brains right now. The night of which the Gears Cup Series may take place may take place on a different night next year, and that's pretty exciting. But that is all up in the air as we are closing down the last races of 2024. I am super pumped to be here tonight. I hope you are too. I know some of y'all might have preferred to be playing Black Ops 6, the new game that just dropped here. It is pretty baller. I got to admit, I got my hands on it. Pretty good game. I enjoy it so far. I've only played a couple matches, so I can't really give you a full review or synopsis on what I think. But overall, it's Call of Duty, man. You get what you get. Again, 1 minute away now. Less than 60 seconds away from qualifying. Let's turn it up and get ready for Gears Cup Series qualifying action coming up next. Again, as we bring it back in, close down the seconds for qualifying ends here. Again, a 4-horse race became a 2-horse race pretty quick. And it really is down to Van Drugman and Brad Gutierrez. Both drivers, especially on Van's part, having a sensational season. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Everybody very close in time. This is going to be a competitive race. I shit you not. Earlier in the season, I know we had a couple different characters in this field. They are not here tonight. But I am ecstatic to bring you tonight's race. First out on the track that I see looks like Connor Rowe. As soon as we get either Brad or Van, we're going to go to them because that's really where our interest lies. But Connor Rowe has had a great year. Goes around for his first lap. Joey Berge with the 1440 is your pole sitter. Currently Connor Rowe, second place right now with a 1449. What is lap 2 going to look like? Gonna whip it around. 14:49 is gonna be Brad Gutierrez with his first lap coming around turn 4. Good enough for second with a 14:42. That's not what I want. I want this one. And 14:42 is going to be Joey Berge on the pole right now with a 14:40. Let's see where Van Drugman is sitting right now. Looks like he has not qualified yet. Let's kick it over to Joseph Enright and see what he's got in store for us. $14.63 lap number 1. $14.61, good enough for 7th for the 7 car. Van Drugman out on the track now with his upper decker 45. You walk me into it. You can't set me up like that. Here we go. Lap number 1 for Van Drugman. Very diamondy around turns 1 and 2. Yeah, kind of does it like how I do. High side, ride or die. First lap, getting that speed, getting second place. Mike DeWalt on the pole. Both Mike and Van have a 14:33. Going into 3 and 4, what does he have? $14.24. That is your pole sitter right now, Van Drugman. Van Drugman, Mike DeWalt, Joey Berge, Brad Gutierrez, Chase Krall, your top 5. Justin Vandermel, Connor Rowe, Skyler Comstock, Keaton Salyers, and Joseph Enright, your top 10. And now Nathan Fuller is going to take a swing. Fuller stepping into the box for his first lap. Here he goes. Again, Rocket Racing, we are hearing, is a one and done, so unfortunately he's going to be on a new team next season. But let's see what lap 1 has for him. Time to put your monkey where your mouth is. Coming out of 4, hitting the wall. That was not going to count. Brandon Meyer with the 1457. That is a beautiful Home Depot Ford Mustang. Giving you the business with a 1444 and popping himself up into the top 5. Five have not qualified. Looks like actually 4. Matthew Weeks, Kyle Munson, Nathan Fuller, and Matt Albert. Again, as I mentioned, it's kind of a 2-horse race, but with Bristol, anything can happen. You know it. I think we all know it. As they're getting ready for the warm-up, let's see if we can talk to somebody and get their ass in this booth. Who can we find? Who can we find? Only a handful of dudes in here. Bring in the 84. Brad, you got a copy?
Sir, how you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Hopefully you are too. Had a good qualifying run there. How are you feeling about tonight's race?
I'm feeling decent. I love Bristol. Just trying to avoid all the chaos that will ensue. And yeah. I mean, after watching the spring race back, yeah, I just gotta avoid the wrecks again.
Yeah, as you heard it on the show here first, Brad Gutierrez in the film room watching the spring race here this season. Your main takeaway, what I would imagine, would be the accidents. But with a lesser field tonight, do you feel like the accidents are more prone to happen, just about the same, or not as much?
I mean, not as much, only because there's a little bit, or there's less than what there was in the spring. But I mean, they're still bound to happen, and the most important thing is not being caught up in one of those.
Sure. Well, I wish you the best of luck tonight. I know it's a 2-horse race. It's a tall task for you, but again, you stood up to him before. I think you can do it again, Brad. Have a good one against Van Drugman.
Yep, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. As I stutter along, that is Brad Gutierrez in the 84, hanging out with us for a moment in time. Let's talk to somebody we might not be able to talk to. Let's find out. 48, Matt Albert. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do. Hey, Tom.
Matt, how are you, man? How are you feeling about Bristol?
Man, honestly, I'm excited just to be able to take part in one of these things for the first time. I was telling my teammates earlier, since Gears moved over to iRacing, I haven't been able to actually start one of these races on time. This is our 3rd time here. And this is my first time getting to have a chance to junk my car and warm up out here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, how do you feel about your chances tonight maybe of getting a top 5?
A top 5 seems like it'd be a little bit of a stretch for me. My goal for the rest of the season is get a pair of top 10s to make my whole season look a little bit better. But yeah, top 5 tonight, I'm imagining it's going to be filled with the playoff drivers like Mike and Van Drugman and Brad. And we're going to have, I'm sure, Joey Berge. And I think Keaton's got a good car under him tonight. I think he'll make some noise.
Well, thank you, Matt Albert, for giving us a piece of your mind and your time. I wish you the best of luck, brother.
Thank you, thank you.
That was Matt Albert in the 48 machine. Again, always a treat to talk bullshit with. Again, 250 laps coming up here next. No stages, no fast repairs, 5 tire sets. Fuel capacity is 70%, and we are definitely in the nighttime. Warm-up is finished, and we are getting set for the grid. Tonight's grid is brought to you by meandyourmom.com. Use code militia for 25% off your first purchase. Again, if your mom needs a face to sit on at some place, nothing better than meandyourmom.com. All right, we are going to get it on with what I love, the grid walk. Again, your pole sitter tonight not sitting where he should be. There he is. Van Drugman leading us off, looking for win number 10. Mike DeWalt outside of the front row in that number 9, Machine. The 27 of Joey Berge starts out inside row 2, and the outside him is going to be 84 of Brad Gutierrez. Brandon Meyer in the Home Depot 33 with Chase Crawl in the 23. In row 4, you have Justin Vandermeer on the 78, and in the 5, you have Connor Rowe. The 28 of Skylar Comstock starting off in the inside row of row number 5, and on the outside is going to be the 19 of Keaton Salyers with that heat machine. 7 of Joseph Enright and the 29 of Stephen Gurley in row 6. Row 7 is the 42 of Jeremy Beal and the 11 of Matthew Weeks. Row 8, you have the 24 DuPont of Nathan Fuller, the one-handed machine of Kyle Munson, and the 48 of Matt Albert starting in the caboose. Again, Kyle Munson driving with one hand tonight. I don't know how he's going to do it, but we might see him in the booth. So looking forward to having him if he does. But we're also psyched to watch him out on the track. Again, coming off. Now, I'm not violating any HIPAA policy here. He had a surgery on his hand. I mean, God, if you can run this thing around one-handed, I give you a lot of props. Let's turn down the music and cue up the action as we are getting ready to go green flag racing here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Glad to have you aboard for this one. Again, this is race 32 of 33 on the schedule. 32 weeks we have walked the path. Again, a short or a smaller field tonight, but that doesn't mean less action. There's going to be quite a bit of action. So again, take your pick tonight. Who's going to win tonight's race? Will Van Drugman get win number 10 and lock in and clinch the championship? Or will Brad Gutierrez able to keep it hanging on, keep on keeping on for one more week? We're about to find out. As an observer of the human condition, anything is possible. And here we go, green flag action for the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. Drugman working a girlfriend into 3 and 4, and he's out to a good lead. Early battles aplenty, and we are off and running for the Bristol night race. Joey Berge in that Red Bull machine making his presence felt. Connor Rowe getting loosey-goosey. Still not doing well. 0 out of 10. Would not recommend dropping to the back of the field. Van Drugman trying to get out as far as he can. Pit road tonight. It is single pit road, which means you have to go through enter on the back stretch and go all the way around the track. It's going to be brutal, and speeding might be a factor. Michael DeWalt, Chase Crawl battling for 4th. Does that say the Holy Yeah House? I think it does. I love it. I just figured it out. That's amazing. Oh, yeah. Hanging on by a thread is Chase Craw with pursuit from Brandon Meyer. Matt Albert's pick tonight with Keaton Salyers saying he has a top 10 car. He is currently in 7th. Starting off in 10th, having a good run so far. Kyle Munson logging laps. Hopefully not in too much pain. With Van Drugman, Joey Berkey, Brad Gutierrez, Mike DeWalt, and Chase Craw, your top 5. With Brandon Meyer, Keaton Salyers, Justin Vandermorel, Skylar Comstock, and Nathan Fuller. Rounding out your top 10, the biggest mover, as I just mentioned, his name, Nathan Fuller. Started in 15th, has currently worked his way up into 10th. And slowly climbing the leaderboard. You know, I always thought in iRacing with the pace car, his headlights are on at night into that turn 3 crowd. If I paid a ticket and that shit was happening to me, I would lose it. Speaking of losing it, looks like that was Skylar Comstock. He's able to hold it together and he looks good to be fine. But again, it's all about this guy, Van Drugman. Got a lot of legends on the hood of that car, leading the way. Has a 2.2 second lead on Joey Berge. Trying to get win number 10 and seal the deal. He pretty much has, again, a catastrophic DNF or last place finish, something like that, you know, in the back would give Brad a gasp of air as he is now into 2nd. That HendrickCars.com Chevrolet Camaro making a pass on the 27 of Joey Berge. 18 laps in of 250. And here's a battle right now between Chase Craw and Keaton Salyers. Keaton trying to find a way anyway. Oh, Crawl hitting the wall coming out of 2. It's going to cost him that spot. Losing that momentum was huge. Mike DeWalt watching Brad and Joey. Having a solid run after missing last week. Team notified late Thursday afternoon last week that he was going to be able to miss due to a work engagement. Chase Crawl trying, banging on that back bumper of the 19 of Salyers. Smacking the wall does the 19. Crawl moving him up and trying to move on, but the 19 hanging on. Brandon Meyer now under fire. 19 to the inside, 33 finding out where the wall is. Side by side coming out of 4, and this is for 5th place now. Salyers trying to fight off the 23 while trying to pass the 33. And it looks like the 23 and the 33 are prevailing so far. Van Drugman, as you see, about a 3-second gap between him and Brad Gutierrez. And then you see the fight back here for 5th. Side by side right now between Vander Morel and Fuller for 8th. These two like a couple of cheetahs going at it viciously. Vander Morel lets him go for now. Chase Crawl, in the meantime, has passed both Brandon Meyer and Keaton Salyers, and Salyers and Meyer are still going at it. And this sounds like, to me, as we're 32 laps in, for our first loose and loud of the evening. And that is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. you back in now from that loose and loud. The short one, but a good one. As we are riding alongside or on board with Van Drugman now having to go through some traffic. So this is going to be tough for the 45. And we'll hang right with him here to see how he navigates this. Right there, he's on the outside of Kyle Munson, all over the back end of Matt Albert. And look at that, it's like a roadblock. Again, Matt Albert in 15th, Kyle Munson in 14th. Matt Albert smacking the wall, going to give that position away and go a lap down. Munson trying desperately to keep the 45 at bay. And I'm not talking about eBay. Oh, man. Especially with the tires worn in by now. You got Joseph Enright right there, Skylar Comstock, Kyle Munson, all trying not to go a lap down right here. Drugman trying to find whoever is faster and go with them, but they cannot seem to get by each other. Oh, Drugman getting loose. Gonna hold it together. Make the pass around Joseph Enright, put him a lap down. So he would be the lucky dog. Oh, as he smacks the wall. Get 9 wins on the season for him, trying to make his way through this group before the pit cycle. Everybody trying to outrun the 45. Munson did all he could to hold him off. Fuller just moves over. And the 45 dominating the night so far. Again, Van Drugman, Mike DeWalt, Matthew Weeks, Chase Krall, Joey Berge, and Brad Gutierrez. Biggest mover of the night is that of the 11 of Matthew Weeks. It started 14th. Now up to 3rd. Wow. See how the 5 races the 45 here. This is going to be nuts. Oh, no. Picking him off nicely, as nice as he can. Bro racing him hard. That 5 is just holding him up. Running him good. Both the 5 and the 45. I think the 5 has a fast car, decently fast car. But that 45 is just trying to get gone. Oh, we almost got action. Bro, not giving him an inch. This is good battling right here. Oh. Again, he's trying to navigate lap traffic, the 45 is, and just having the time of his life doing it. Rowe trying and digging to get back up near the 45. Not going to be able to do it. Drugman well on his way, having a 4.7 lead over Mike DeWalt. Matthew Weeks, Chase Krall, and Joey Berge, your top 5. It is pretty crazy to believe the 45 is that fast. But there is a lot of talent in that upper deck Toyota machine. And a lot of uncapped potential right now. Mike DeWalt having a great run so far. Again, started second, is second currently. Again, only about, smacking the wall with Gurley. Only at 5 seconds away from Van Drugman, but having a solid run here tonight. Currently 4th in points. By the end of the season, he will be up to 3rd. Brad Gutierrez a lap down currently. Matthew Weeks having a solid run as well. Like we mentioned, started 14th. Oh, there's some action. Fuller having to slow down as Matt Albert made it 3 wide. He wanted to be the meat in the sandwich, and he got it. Nothing like a little schmeat. He got it. Drugman having a wonderful time out on a Sunday drive on a Friday night. Mike DeWalt also trying to manage through this traffic, and there may be some guys that are holding back. They know it's a long race, especially with a field that is less than a normal field size would be. You're able to get more space out here, kind of find your lane and stay in it. Mike DeWalt 3 seconds ahead of Matthew Weeks. Connor Rowe in 4th. Skylar Comstock in 5th. Again, pit stops are happening. We are popping with the pit stops. Again, single pit road, not dual pit road, so you have to go down the backstretch, enter from where he just exited from there. Van Drugman out of 2. Got to go all the way around underneath that blue line and then to your pit box. You may not like it, but that's there for everybody. And what do you do at Bristol when there's a long green flag run and you're going through pit cycle, strategy becoming important, coming into play. So if you have a crew chief on your side, a spotter, or somebody that helps you do the math, get the business done, I think you kind of have a basis on where you're going or what you're willing to risk if you practice it. Munson and DeWalt neck and neck. This is not for position, but for fun. DeWalt humping his opponent into submission. Nathan Fuller, looks like we have trouble for the 24. Let's find back that ass and find out what happened in the Gears Cup Series instant replay. Looks like he got loose. Oh, smacked the wall. Almost came back up on the track. Was able to save it. Good on him for doing that. But that will bring out our first caution of the night. So again, talking about a long green flag run. Turned it into a caution. Don't forget, we are live on Monday nights for the Donut Box Cup Series, the SIDS Awareness 150 at Richmond Raceway. Monday night show starts at about 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 Central. Again, an important race to those affected by that. We are looking forward to Donut Box Cup Series racing action only here on Casa de la Horseboat. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm having a stroke. I don't know. Not something to joke about. Looks like Van Drugman is on pit road right now. Again, those who didn't pit, I see him going around now. But smart for these guys to pit now. Again, we're not at the halfway point yet. We're almost there. But this might be a good time to grab a drink as we get set to re-rack and get back to green flag action shortly here on Casa de la Horseboat. All right, we are back live for the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. Pace car is off, and we are back to green flag racing. Van Drugman leading us off in the outside lane, and here we go. Drugman just always seems to get really good jumps. Whoa, Matt Albert getting loose coming out of 4. It seems like Van Drugman is just a little bit above the rest when it comes to being good here. Oh! Kyle Munson Big Money Munson getting loose. Able to hang on. Good for him. Oh, I spoke too soon. Matt Albert behind him as well, crashing. And we got some shit. Berge, Connor Rowe is flipped over on his top. Oh, yeah, he's on grinder. You should back it up and say like a grinder, but let's back that ass up for the Gears Cup Series. It's a replay powered by meandyourmom.com. So the blimp cam. Action started happening. Oh, and right hooked. Up into the wall goes Berge, taking Connor Rowe with him. That is amazing. Connor Rowe a little upset by that as you see the wheels spinning in the back of his car. We're going to do an onboard here. Let's see what we can see from the perspective of Connor Rowe. Like, oh, there goes Kyle. There goes Matt. Joey gets loose. Joey right hooks and pinched. And grinding all the way down as the camera cuts in and out. And there you go. That's realistic. Very realistic in my mind. Oh, did I break the game? I must have broke it. There we go. Oh, man. That was crazy. Let's see, Joey Berge in the pits. Munson in the pits. Cockeyed and in the pits. Matt Albert, let's see where that young man is. MIA for the moment. Yeah. Not good. Van Drugman, Mike DeWalt, Matthew Weeks, Justin Vandermerel, and Brad Gutierrez, your top 5. With Skylar Comstock, Stephen Gurley Jr., Chase Krall, Keaton Salyers, and Brandon Meyer rounding out your top 10. Again, next week is going to be the finale. Gears presents finale at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Again, special guest, the Pizza Man, ARCA Series driver, Brayton Laster, joining us for that one. And joining us now is the 40 car of Kyle Munson. Kyle, your one hand held out as long as it could, and it looked like it gave way.
Yeah, that's definitely a handful out there, man. The track was getting a little slick later in the race there, and
yeah,
man, we had a really good run early on. We had a 90 lap run there under green. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Again, when you're having green flag pit stops, you know you're doing something right. So, again, it is a little bit of a smaller field, but at the same time, really good competitive racing. Van Drugman, though, he just seems to be the top dog right now.
Yeah, he's killing it for sure.
And since you're with me, I'm going to start drinking.
Way ahead of you, man.
Van Drugman and Mike DeWalt on the front row. Brad Gutierrez, Matthew Weeks, row 2. Justin Vandermerel and Skylar Comstock, row 3. With Stephen Gurley Jr., Chase Krall, row 4, and row 5, Keaton Salyers and Brandon Meyer, the Sprocket Series champion. Pace car lights are off. He's going to dip, and we're going to get back to green flag racing. Hopefully. I don't know how he gets such a good start off the line. But he can do it, and he does it well. Just like LL Cool J. I'm really dating myself with that one. Van Drugman out to a good-sized lead, almost a second. Mike DeWalt again, solid performance here so far, so good. Brad Gutierrez in third right now. And the 23 of Chase Krall is a lap down, and he's a coming. He wants his lap back in the worst way possible. In the oh yeah house, 23.
The yellow flag is out.
Where? Somebody tell me.
Looks like the 28 car. Looks like the
28.
28
Oh,
car.
Skylar Comstock. Oh, and he hit the barrels, it looks like. Or he hit something. I don't know what the hell. Oh. All right, let's look back in real time. Oh, as he gets loose in the wall, riding the rail. Oh, Vandermeer's like, here you go, buddy.
Yeah, Vandermeer just came over the radio. He just said he's got wheel damage, so he's got the pit
Oh, no, and that's a bummer. As a pace car goes through the 28, that would scare the shit out of me. That scares me every time the pace car goes through you. It's almost like diarrhea. Gurley looks like he's getting a free pass.
Man, I'll tell you what, that bottom line that Van Drugman's running, that's where it's at. I was running that all the whole race as much as I could. When I was in practice, I found that I was able to save about probably 30-40% better on tires over the course of like 30 laps.
Wow.
It is a big difference.
Again, a lot of talk has been around the league, and how is he so fast? You know,
That's a good question.
It is a good
I
question.
wish I knew.
I did, you know, and I've kind of tried to pick his brain, you know, and so has other people, and they said he just practices it, and I get that, but like, I don't know, like I just don't know. And I'm not trying to insinuate anything. I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I just don't know how he's so damn fast, and he always seems to show up every week. Doesn't matter what the track is.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that's just naturally good at pretty much anything he drives.
Yeah, you can't hate on that, but you definitely wonder. You definitely wonder. It's like, man, I know he's a young guy. He's got a lot more time than probably, you know, a 40-year-old man. But at the same time, it's like he's definitely. I think he could do the road to pro thing and be successful. At least that's from what I've seen. He's just always in the right place at the right time. His pit stops are almost flawless. You gotta love what the 45 is doing. Again, 9 wins, youngest driver in Gears history to do that. And if he does win tonight, he'll be the first Gears driver in history to reach double-digit victories in 1 year. And
It's definitely an impressive stat, for sure.
Yeah, and that's a record that may not be broken if things change the way they change. You never know what's going to happen in the future. But glory is certainly one of those things that is certain if the 45 keeps doing what he's doing. Again, he is on the front row. Mike DeWalt's going to be alongside him. Row 2 is Brad Gutierrez, Matthew Weeks. Row 3 is Justin Vandermeer, Stephen Gurley Jr. Row 4 is Skylar Comstock and Chase Crawl. And rounding out your top 10, Keaton Salyers and Brandon Meyer. Pace car is going to dip, and we are going to get back to green flag racing for the Bass Pro Shops night race right here at Bristol. And Vandermeer with a late break around the 19. Not sure what the hell that was all about. A little weird, but we're going to keep going. Matthew Weeks wants to come challenge 45 for the lead. Can he do it? Mike DeWalt's is going to let these dudes ride it out and have a good time, straight up. 117 of 250. We are nearing the halfway point. The 11, the 9, and the 23 going at it. Again, the 23 a lap down, trying to get a lap back. And he's faced with a long mountain to climb.
If we get another really long red flag run like we did in the first part of the race there, I think you're going to see probably Mike DeWalt's going to be a challenger too for this.
Yeah, I would imagine. Whoa, he gets a little loose there.
He was putting up some pretty good lap times later in the run there.
Yeah, I think, Mike DeWalt has the experience to really do well on a long green flag run. As you mentioned, Kyle, we really saw that too. I mean, he was just riding around for a while, and then he went hard, he backed off. He knows when to go, and that makes him a very solid competitor here.
Absolutely. Yeah, this track, with this tire model and everything, it's super important to not burn the tires off of it.
Bristol mini stocks are always fun here. I've done that a couple weeks ago. That was a blast. Might have to do some horse boat night in America this weekend. I don't know. Depends on how hammered you want to get. But Van Drugman, Matthew Weeks, Brad Gutierrez, Mike DeWalt, and Justin Van Burrell, your top 5. Stephen Gurley Jr., Skylar Comstock, Chase Kroll, Brandon Meyer, and Keaton Salyers. Rounding out your top 10s, right on board with the 19 of the Miami Heat Machine, Keaton Salyers.
Yeah, I mean the fact that Van Drugman actually managed to put like majority of the field a lap down in just like 90 laps. I mean that's pretty telling of who's able to save tires and who's not. So like I said, I mean you had Mike goes up there, he was able to challenge it too. So that was good to see. A couple of the guys that were actually pretty quick early on, they fell off really quickly. So I think they were just probably pushing a little too hard.
Short run bandits.
Yep. That's what we call the one lap wonders.
In the music industry, we call it a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, there you go.
Just say no to anal, guys. Van Drugman, Matthew Weeks, Brad Gutierrez, Mike DeWalt, and Justin Van Burrell, your top 5. You didn't hear me say that, Kyle. Drugman out to a good-sized lead. But Matthew Weeks starting to close in just a tidbit. 130 laps of 250 in the bag. Put the fries in the bag. And I think, Kyle, this is a good point where we bring out our second Loose and Loud of the night. What do you think?
Sounds good to me, bud.
All right, this one is brought to you by promo code Militia for meandyourmom.com for 25% off your first purchase. Loose and Loud, engaged. Bringing you back in now from the Loose and Loud. Again, I am the Horse Boat, a.k.a. Tom Torrey. Alongside me tonight, as he has parked it for the evening, the one-handed phenom of Kyle Munson. Kyle, thank you for joining us and giving us a little piece of your time. As we were commenting during the Loose and Loud, Van Drugman has had somebody close in on him, and that is the 11 of Matthew Weeks.
Yeah, Matt's really closed up a lot. He's actually, I don't know if he's been saving tires or if he's just out there burning the hell out of the tires, but yeah, he's managed to cut that lead down quite a bit. He's only 0.3 of a second back.
He's got a good beat on Van, but Van continues to lead. Van has led almost every single lap. I say that because during the green flag pit stops, we did have a couple people lead a lap or two. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I swear to you, I can prove it. Van Drugman, Matthew Weeks, Mike DeWalt, Brad Gutierrez, and Justin Vandermerel, your top 5 currently, with Stephen Durley Jr., Keaton Salyers, Brandon Meyer, Skylar Comstock, and Joseph Enright rounding out your top 10. As we are watching along Matthew Weeks' perspective, he's trying to chase down again Van Drugman as they got through some lap traffic. And he's having to climb that mountain again.
Yeah, and Van's going to end up coming up on here on some lap traffic again, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for him to see if he can get around these guys cleanly.
Yeah, we'll keep it on the 45 because now he's got to deal with the 5 yet again. The 5, this time not as bold, as I'm sure his car is not 100%, but he's going to hang in there and try to race him hard.
And that's going to allow Matt to catch up a little bit here and see if he can make some ground up on Van.
And Brandon Meyer, your Sprocket Series champion this year, letting Van go pretty easily. Bro getting out of the way for the 11. So at least through those two, they got through pretty easily. But it will be, you know, how will that go when there's 50 to go or 25 to go and he has to go through them? It may not be as forgiving. Something to keep your eye on.
You know, with some of those guys, the 2 that he just went around, they were both multiple laps down, so it's not like they were on the tail end of the lead lap trying to fight to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different, you know. If you're on the tail end of it and you're just trying to fight to stay on it, you're gonna fight your ass off to try and stay on the lead lap.
Oh hell yeah!
The guys that are multiple laps down, I mean, they're just not right now.
Now, Kyle, when we got into this race with that long green flag run in the beginning there, were the comms pretty good, or was it pretty competitive?
Everything stayed pretty clean as far as I could see. I mean,
that's awesome.
Everybody stayed, I don't really think there was anything too crazy. We had a couple guys that got a little anxious on the radio, but nothing too major.
Well, I think you're going to have that, when the race is live and it's going, you're going to have some dumbasses or who you think is a dumbass. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dumbass? We promote ELE, everybody love everybody around here.
That's right.
But sometimes that doesn't happen, and you got to roll with whatever freight train they're on. Again, if you're just joining us, I am the Horse Boat, a.k.a. Tom Torrey. Got Kyle Munson in the booth for the Bass Pro Shops night race 32 of 33. Second to last race of the year. Next week, going to be Las Vegas. Looking forward to it. We might have a couple guests on the show. Again, tune in live.
So we got a couple different strategies here with Van and Matt.
Yeah,
both of them are running 2 different lines. So it'd be interesting to see who's going to prevail on that as far as tire wear goes. In my opinion, I think probably Van's probably got a little bit of an advantage. Like I said, I mean, earlier for me personally, when I was running in practice, it felt like the bottom line actually felt a little bit better on the long run. But, everybody's driving style is a little different.
Now, I got to ask you, at Bristol, when you ride that high line, and I know typically for other tracks, it gets that right front a little hotter than normal. Is that affected a lot more here at Bristol?
It can. Again, it kind of depends on your driving style because you have some guys that'll kind of throw it in the corner a little bit deeper than others. And then, some that kind of have a little bit more of a shallower entry and come down on the exit. So
That makes
driving style is super important as far as the tire wear goes.
a little bit of insight for you in case you always wonder, trying to give you the best information we can. Brandon Meyer again laps down, running with Mike DeWalt, who currently is in third place.
Yeah,
And a bunch of guys out.
We're starting to see Matt fall off the pace a little bit here, so I'm thinking he's probably used up his tires.
It's like we're just living in Van Drugman's world. Just living in it, Kyle.
Yeah, he's in cruise control right now, man.
It's just crazy how he's able, on a run that we're on right now, he's able to put the car wherever he wants it.
Yep.
And that's truly remarkable. I mean, you don't see that from drivers in this series.
No, not traditionally, because I mean we have a pretty stacked field of guys here. It's not like racing against a bunch of guys in the 500 IR.
It's not like we have guys that with like a 550 I rating with like a 1.5 SR. Like, we have guys that are over, some as high as 5,000 to as low as about 2,000. And it's all very competitive, but Van just comes in here and is like, hold my root beer.
Yeah, it's impressive to see how he manages to do this.
It's
like I said,
remarkable.
I don't know how he does it.
It's remarkable. Again, I'm a guy who roots for the underdog. So when you see a guy that dominates, you're like, hey, man, come on. Like, but if you're good, you're good. And I don't want you to hold back because you're that much better. But at the same time, something's got to give.
And I'll tell you, man, when we go to Las Vegas next week, it's going to be another tire-eating track. So
Yeah.
you're going to see some guys, and there's going to be a lot of commercial goers in that. We're going to see some guys that are going to be super aggressive early on, and it's going to bite them in the ass on the long run if we do that.
For sure.
So there's going to be a lot of strategies in that race too.
Nearing 60 laps to go in this one. This one has gone remarkably fast. But again, it is Bristol. We got a battle for second brewing. Oh, I say that DeWalt smacks the wall. Well, Mike DeWalt, again, having another solid run, third year in a row, where he's inside the top 5 in points. A guy who I believe may break that barrier one day in gears. This year, again, not being the year. But when you got like Matthew Weeks, you got Van Drugman, you got Brad Gutierrez, Connor Rowe. There's a lot of really awesome drivers that are in these fields each week, and it just makes the competition a little bit more, and you're going to have to rise to the occasion.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got guys that are like Brad. He's a really good barometer to see who can actually. Oh wow! I think actually Van just had a tire go down. Sorry, I'm following him on the race. Oh, maybe he didn't.
No, I don't think he did.
Never mind.
I'm like, dude, he's live. I'm like, holy shit! If a tire went down, that'd be amazingly weird.
Well, on my end, you kind of did like a little weird thing here, so.
Because your shit internet, Kyle.
Yeah.
That's okay. We're brothers on that front, and we both have shitty internet providers. Van Drugman, Mike DeWalt, Matthew Weeks, Brad Gutierrez, and Justin Vanderwerl, your top 5. Stephen Gurley Jr., Brandon Meyer, Keaton Salyers, Joseph Enright, and Skylar Comstock rounding out your top 10. Riding on board with Skylar. Hanging out with third-place driver Matthew Weeks.
We'll see if these guys have to pit again, too.
Yeah, they do, for sure.
I think so.
Matthew
You
Weeks
can go about
trying to clap
I
the
was gonna say,
cheeks.
Yeah, you can go about 120 laps on fuel, 125 if you
Okay.
really push it. I don't know if some of these guys are going to be able to hit that number or not, just because. Of how fast
I
they're
think you're going to
actually
have to pit at least one more time. One more time. But who knows? It's getting into the evening where I'm going to talk out of my ass more and more.
seen a lot of guys that are actually pitting right now. They're able to make up some time, make their laps up a little bit.
Brad Gutierrez getting challenged by Keaton Salyers, whose lap's down. And it looks like Brad Gutierrez is going to pit. So, yeah, they definitely are going to have to pit at least one more time if that's what's happening.
Well, Brad was one of those guys that kind of ate the tires up a little bit early on.
Oh, sure.
The first run, too.
Do you think
actually,
so?
We got Van coming in right now.
Yeah, Van's coming in right now. But do you think it's more of a tires thing or a fuel thing on this?
Probably a combination of things, really. I
mean,
I don't
like,
know what was the last lap these guys pit. Probably 140.
Yeah, so it's
They
like
could've made
monkey
that
see,
rule.
monkey do type thing where
Yeah.
they're like, oh, shit, he's going in for tires. I might as well go in for tires. Maybe we'll all get shoes and hang out together. I don't know.
I mean, if you can make the car run like a low 15, maybe like a mid 15 throughout the
Sure.
whole run for like 110, 120 laps, I don't think I would pit personally. But, you know.
But you got Drugman,
obviously,
man. That dude's running 14-second laps.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, for him, it might be a little different just because he's able to push the car and, run like a low 14.
Hey,
as much
Kyle,
as he wants.
you want to know something
Yep.
exciting?
What's that?
Justin Vandermeer led a lap.
Hey, there we go.
There we go.
good
Round
for
of applause for him.
Bitch, pop that ass, come to green.
And he's going to pit. He's a one and done. Van Drugman is going to assume the lead here. Right meow. And Mike DeWalt's going to take over second. Inside of 50 laps to go. Again, this second to last race of the season has been flying by. And I mean that. We're only about an hour and a half into this program, and we are almost done with this race. Credit to the boys in gears right now. Doing their thing, having fun.
And if I was one of the guys that were on the tail end of the lead lap at this stage of the race before Van pit, I would have just stayed out. Just to see if I could roll the dice and make it work,
Yeah, I
hope
mean,
for
what do you
caution.
got to lose? Yeah, no
Exactly.
kidding.
You gotta do something different just to try something, see if it's gonna work.
Well, and if anything, just be a nuisance. Like,
Exactly.
racecraft and, sportsmanship-wise, you want to be that nuisance. I would be that nuisance.
Well,
I
it
have
definitely
no
goes out the
shame
window
in that.
around about 5 or 10 to go, too.
Yeah, like, I have no shame in that. Oh, you're in the lead? Fuck you. You're going to sit there
Yeah.
for a minute. I'll let you by, but you're going to deal with it just for a moment. And if I get moved, it makes you look like a dick.
Well, then you got some guys that are pretty good at giving a little bit of a bump, and like a bump and run. And Connor is actually a really good example of that. Like, he can actually rub you in the door a little bit and just kind of push you up the track just a little bit. And I mean, he'll do it, and he won't lose anything, but it'll kind of push you up just a little bit, just enough to root you off the line a little bit.
Just make you feel it just enough
Exactly.
to wiggle, get you out of rhythm.
Yep, he's really good at doing that. And he does it cleanly. It's not like he's taking you out.
He is a tough guy to pass.
Yeah, he's definitely the Ryan Newman of the group for sure. Which coincidentally he has a Ryan Newman paint job.
That is funny as hell. I didn't even notice that. I mean, I should have. There he is. And there he is being an asshole to Van Drugman and blocking him. Ryan Newman be damned. If he had a Dodge, it'd be all better.
Yeah, he's one of the hardest guys to pass on track for sure.
Van Drugman, I'm sure, loved that.
I got 3 guys on the lead lap right now, but we're coming about 35 to go here.
Well, what did you expect? I mean, I personally saw this coming.
Oh yeah. For sure.
With a lesser field, you're going to get a longer stretch of green flag runs, which in turn. Cream rising to the top. And again, as an observer of the human condition, you know who's got the balls and who doesn't.
It's still impressive, though, just because, I mean, regardless, you can make a mistake here, and it doesn't take much to go a lap down at Bristol. These guys, I mean, they're only running 14 and a half second laps.
In 1 through 20, they've done a good job tonight. We've only had a couple cautions, and you can't complain about that at a short track like this. Again, there's a lot of banking here, and there is room as far as to put your, where to put your car, but it's dependent upon your skill level and if you can handle that line in that moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of relying on the other guys.
You have to. I mean, Richmond was something that I think some of the field did not understand.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Van Drugman, Mike DeWalt, Matthew Weeks, Brad Gutierrez, and Justin Vandermerel, your top 5. Stephen Gurley Jr., Brandon Meyer, Keaton Salyers, Skylar Comstock, and Joseph Van Wright rounding out your top 10. Again, 30 laps to go next time by. Stephen Gurley just loving up on that wall. He might take it home tonight.
That's a good run for Enright to be in the top 10. It's good to see him up there. Even though he is a little bit, he's 11 laps down, but still he's in the top 10, so that's all that matters.
That's all right for Corey LaJoy Jr. And I mean that as loving as possible.
I'm really amazed at how well Brad is actually able to keep his car. Oh, he's actually coming in the pits. I was going to say, he's able to stay only 1 lap down. He's got a lot of damage. There was an incident between him and the 19 car. Yeah, he ended up sustaining a lot of damage as a result.
He is running around in 4th currently. And having a good run. Oh, he almost hit the wall. Again, Drugman wins tonight. It's pretty much game over. And it looks like he is well on his way. He has an 8-second lead over Mike DeWalt. Kyle, I don't know if you're live or if you're on replay.
I was on the wrong car. That's my bad.
That's funny.
I was on Gurley.
What an
But yeah, even though Brad does have some damage.
He does.
But yeah, at least he's able to maintain it, and he's only 1 lap down, so that's good for him.
Old strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Van Drugman, Mike DeWalt, Matthew Weeks, your top 3 currently, and holding it down with ease. Again, the top 3 are the only 3 that are on the lead lap currently. But there he is in his glory, the 45, sporting Michael Jordan on the hood, even though he wasn't alive when he played. Having a good time here in his Toyota Camry is Van Drugman. I should get $1 for every time I say his name, because I said it a lot this year.
Hell, I'd just like to have $1 for every lap he leads.
Dude, we'd have so much money.
I know, right?
So
Be a lot of
money.
beers, man. A lot of
That'd
beers.
be a lot of beers.
Come up on 20 to go here and see if these guys can make a round down. I would doubt it, but
It's not. I don't think it's going to happen. We're going to keep it on Van. Again, youngest driver in history with 9 wins on the year, the most ever.
There's always a
Looking for win number
possibility of a
10.
caution.
There is always one. Redneck Firefighter 98 said he'd be rich. Shit, we'd all be rich. We were betting on him.
Right. It'd be like betting on Kyle Larson.
I mean, Kyle, I know you've heard early 20th century with the mob on the eastern seaboard, New York, fixing fights, fixing things.
Sure.
This is not a fix. It's almost a guarantee.
Yeah, exactly.
When you win 10 out of 30, I'm not knock on wood for him here, but when you win 10 out of 32 races, It's insane.
Yeah, and a lot of these races, he's just kind of dick stomped the entire field too. So
He's goated.
exactly, it's fitting to have the Michael Jordan mural on the hood.
I always thought maybe his generation was like a LeBron fan. Don't discredit these two guys, though. Mike DeWalt having a great run here tonight. Started second, is currently second. Matthew Weeks trying to chase him down. But Mike DeWalt having a wonderful season. Going to end up in third, ultimately, when it's all said and done. But hats off to him in the year that he's had. And Matthew Weeks, if he could run a full season with us, he would be right here in championship contention. He's a solid driver. I'm a fan of Matthew Weeks.
Yeah, he would definitely be a lock for a top four.
And we can't discredit Brad Gutierrez as well. As we're on him now, he's had a great season. The man has won 3 races this season. The only other with 3 is Perrin Huggins, who's not here tonight. But he's had a solid year. He's been up front. He has 19 top 10s this year. In 26 starts, he has 19 top 10s. That is impressive. You know who the other guy has 19 top 10s? Van Drugman.
Yeah. I say if he's not winning, he's at least in the top 5 usually.
And then Rocket Racing, as I'm kind of looking at the stats as we count down the laps, Mike DeWalt and Connor Rowe, both 16 top 10s, and that's both the second highest.
That's awesome.
So congrats, and I mean, a solid season overall, but we could almost declare tonight Van Drugman is your Gears Cup Series champion here in 2024. I'm not going to say that officially yet because it's not locked in. But hell, it might as well be. These 2 cars on your screen right now, 1 and 2 in the points race. But it is Van Drugman who has shown up this season. He has 23.
He might not even have to race next weekend.
He doesn't, really. 26 entries. He's only missed 6 races, or a handful of races, I should say. He shows up and he throws down. He's had a couple races where you're like, oh man, maybe he isn't the guy. But right here, right now, he is telling you that he's about to be a champion. He's about to ascend. 3rd season in a row where we have a different champion. Keaton Salyers in 2022. Cody Johnson in 2023. And it's safe to say, with 2 laps to go, Van Drugman will be your champion in 2024. White flag is out for Van Drugman.
That's a well-deserved championship for him, too.
Coming across turn 4, your winner, 10 times over, Van Drugman. Van Drugman, Mike DeWalt, Matthew Weeks, Brad Gutierrez, Justin Vanderwerl, Keaton Salyers, Brandon Meyer, Stephen Gurley Jr., Skylar Comstock, and Joseph Enright rounding out your top 10. Van Drugman, your winner here tonight. Win number 10. And we're going to watch him throw it down as we'll get set for the Gears Cup Series post-race show. Again, brought to you by meandyourmom.com. Get up, grab a drink, and then listen to these guys talk about themselves. We'll be back in 30 seconds right here in Casa de la Horseboat. All right, bringing you back here live for the Gears Cup Series post-race show. Again, Van Drugman winning 10 races on the year. Mike DeWalt in second and Matthew Weeks in third. Let's bring in the 11 of Matthew Weeks. Matthew, thank you for joining the program. Feels like we're getting to know each other on an intimate level. Congratulations on a solid finish here tonight. How are you feeling?
Yeah, man. I'm feeling good. Kind of burnt out a little bit. That was a good long run. Mad at myself. I overcooked my tires once we started that second run there. So I kind of fell back so much on the later stages before we pitted. But oh no, good race. Good fun Bristol race. You never get those. So that was good.
Yeah, third place, a solid finish for you after starting 14th. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to my buddy Justin Vandermeer. He was here tonight. He raced. I think he finished 5th on this amazing paint scheme yet again. You know, and you guys in the booth and everyone that runs the league and everyone that watched and then everyone that showed up tonight. The guys put on a really good show and it was a fun race.
Well, congratulations, man. I hope you're running full-time next year. You are a fucking beast, and I think if you ran full-time, you'd be right here in championship contention, brother.
Oh, I'm 100% back full-time next season. As long as we keep with this next-gen Cup car, yeah. If we switch it up, I know there's been some talks. There's some bugs with the Gen 4 and Xfinity stuff right now, so I'm kind of not really racing those as much.
Sure.
So hopefully we keep the Cup car, and I'll be here full-time, man. So.
Right on, man. Well, have a wonderful weekend. You finished third. I hope you get to celebrate that.
All right, man. Thank you. Y'all have a good weekend, too.
You too, you too. Thank you, thank you. That was Matthew Weeks in the 11 machine. Let's pull in a Gears veteran, Gears playoff veteran, Mike DeWalt. Mike started second, finished second, had a wonderful car. Give us a little synopsis on your evening.
Yeah, I mean, pretty quiet night. Not very eventful, which is how I like it. We got some good green flag runs there. Just kind of cruising. Obviously, had nothing for the 45 once he got out there. Couldn't really track him down. Had a good long run car, but not enough to make up that much time. But had a lot of fun. Bristol's awesome. This is one I wasn't able to run earlier in the year, so it's fun to be able to come back and do this at least once. So I'm glad we put this on the schedule twice. But Bristol's always a good time. Congrats to Van on 10 wins. That's crazy. He's got a good shot, obviously, to clinch next week.
So he doesn't clinch tonight. Can we be clear? He did not clinch tonight.
I don't believe so. Not with the amount of cars that we had and how high Brad finished.
Okay. Well, that is good to know. Again, Mike, again, he is part owner of the Gears Cup Series, Gears Racing League overall. So, again, that's why I asked that question to the viewers at home that may not understand. But, yeah, all right. Well, again, he didn't clinch as the thought is. But anybody you want to give a shout-out to, Mike?
Just shout out to the guys who made it out tonight and ran a good, clean race. Obviously, we had a few cautions, but everyone did a good job after those excursions.
It was a badass race from the booth. Again, not much to speak of as far as accidents, but good racing all over the track. Congratulations on a second-place finish.
Thanks, man.
You are welcome. And that was Michael DeWalt in the 9 machine, starting second and finishing second. Having a good run here tonight at Bristol. And here he is, everybody, the one you want to hear from, Van Drugman, number 45, the first person in Gears history to win 10 races on a year. Van, how are you feeling, man?
Hell yeah. Yes. All right. The 10-win season is complete. I was looking maybe for a 10-win season this season, and I reached it. So I'm happy about that.
You got to share with us, man. What is your secret? Give us something. Anything. Throw us a fucking bone, Van. Tell us what it is that makes you so great.
Practice, and just overall knowing what to do with the car. You gotta be friends with it. You can't, it can't be one-sided. If that makes sense. You
know who you remind me of?
Who?
Aaron Rodgers, and it kills me inside.
Hey, I hate Aaron Rodgers, so you could have drawn a better comparison. But
I'm just joking, just because I've as a Packer fan for many years having to deal with his bullshit. But the answer that you've given us really gives us no insight. I know practice is it, but congratulations, dude. You are a badass in our series. And imagine, I hope that you are planning to go road to pro one of these days. Anybody you want to give a shout out to, brother?
And the Gears guys, they put on another good show. It was clean. It was smooth. It was, it was a clean Bristol race. It doesn't happen often. So overall, it was a good job to the Gears guys, to be honest. And thank you to my internet for finally not geeking out for once. So that's always a positive. But we'll go to Las Vegas and we'll see if I can clinch the championship within the first 50 laps. You never know what might happen.
That is the goal. Again, I was told that you may not have clinched tonight, so I can't declare you outright the Gears Cup Series champion, but I highly anticipate that you and I will be having a conversation next week, and I hope you have some root beer or a nice beverage to celebrate and enjoy the moment as the championship awaits on your doorstep.
I like how you said root beer because I'm below 21. That was a good little.
I know you're under 21. That's why I mentioned root beer or something like a Sprite. Maybe stop at McDonald's, but don't order the quarter pounder. I don't know, man. Get a milkshake, but the ice cream machine might be broken. But again, congratulations, dude. 10 wins. Never done before in Gears Cup Series history. May never be done again. You are a goated legend as of this moment.
All right. Thank you, Tom. I'll see y'all next week for sure.
You are welcome. Get your ass out of here and enjoy your evening. Van Drugman, 10 wins on the season. And Kyle, any final thoughts for you?
No, just happy to join the broadcast and witness an ass-kicking of epic proportions.
Yeah, I mean, Van, when he's got it going on, he has got it going on. And again, every Friday night in the spring and summer, you're going to be able to see us here at Gears Cup Series live right here on twitch.tv/xhorseboatx, giving you all the action you need for your Friday night needs if you're into racing. For Kyle Munson, I am Tom Torrey. Next week, we will be at Las Vegas for Gears Presents the Finale 2024. Brayton Laster and myself, Tom Torrey, will be on hand for the call. Again, for Kyle Munson, I am Tom Torrey. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you on the next one.